Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. And today we're going to be playing another premiere draft of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Without further ado, let's start off with our pack 1, pick 1 here. Nothing super great in terms of commons and uncommons in this pack. We got a decent monocolored removal spell, nice flexible Messenger Hawk for a hybrid mana card there. That would be the safest pack 1, pick 1 because it can fit into a bunch of different decks thanks to the hybrid mana value. However, we do have a pretty decent rare. I like Momo Friendly Flyer the best out of this pack. 1 mana for a 1/1 flyer, and every non-lemur creature spell with flying costs 1 less to cast. Technically only works once per turn, but it still lets you get to some really good curve outs. You can play Momo on turn 1 into like Glider Kids on turn 2, and then just keep going from there and get a lot of damage in the sky early. So I like Momo a lot. Avatar's Wrath has been okay for me as well in a sealed deck one time, but I feel it may be just a tiny bit weaker in draft where things are a bit quicker. So I'm just going to go for the Momo there that I know is going to be pretty great. Pick 2, we do not have a good flying creature to follow that up with. What we have is a reasonable black removal spell with deadly precision. Pretty good tempo play with the Airbending lesson. You slow down one of their blockers by airbending it. Also has some flexibility, being able to exile your own card to recast later. Don't mind the airbending lesson here. Another pack where I think the uncommons and the rare aren't the greatest. Katara is a good mana sink in the late game. Fire Sages is a solid aggressive card. I don't know that they're strong enough to go off color here immediately over just the solid airbending lesson. Yeah, I think I'm just going to chill with Momo for now and grab our lesson. Pick 3, now we have a really filler 2 mana creature. Fine solid filler 2 mana creature in white. But I think now we can afford to go off color for something like the Fire Navy Trebuchet. That's a really good card for the black-white sacrifice deck. This is just a really, really synergistic card for that strategy. Or Katara, Bending Prodigy, again for that really good mana sink in the late game. Draw a bunch of cards off that Waterbending. I think I'm going to lean towards Katara over the Trebuchet, but they're pretty close here in terms of the best off-color cards. Pick number 4. Had we taken the Trebuchet, there's some really powerful black spells here. The Corrupt Court Official is an expendable card to sacrifice. The Sold Out is a great removal spell. But there's also a great card for blue, the Benevolent River Spirit. It's a little bit expensive, but in blue-white you are going to be playing a lot to the board, which can give you a lot of permanents to help waterbend this out for cheaper. And this is a really big finisher. A 4/5 with flying and ward of 2 with an enter effect to set up your draws. Yeah, River Spirit looks like a good card to have at the top end of like a blue-white Flyers deck. Pick 5. I do think that Yip Yip is a pretty good combat trick, but it's not the kind of card you need a million copies of, and it tends to go around pretty late, so it's not too hard to get the 1 or 2 copies that you want. So I would rather just speculate on some removal that might be harder to find. If we get pushed off of either of these colors, have a black backup playing with deadly precision. We've also seen other good black cards getting past so far. And this pack looks no different. There are no white cards in the pack. The only blue card in the pack is incredibly mediocre. Same with the green and the red. However, in black, there's still a Corrupt Court Official. Lowenly a little bit more narrow than Corrupt Court Official, but can play just as well if you have the good cards to synergize with it. Particularly, I like taking this when I'm in black-red because then you can get lessons that deal damage, like Firebending Lesson and Combustion Technique, and then you can actually get value out of the lifelink. Or if you manage to open up one of the rare nobles, there's a couple bomb rare nobles, mainly like the Azula cards, but I think right now, without being in red at all, and without knowing if we're going to open any rare nobles, I'd rather just grab Corrupt Court Official. Pick number 7. Pretty mid-pack. My favorite card is True Ancestry here. Actually, return a permanent from grave, get a clue. It's a 2-for-1 graveyard recursion spell, but it's completely off color here. Probably best to take like Earth Kingdom Soldier. That hybrid mana value makes it pretty flexible. Maybe even like Rumble Arena for the fixing. I found Meteor Sword, a 7 mana removal spell, to be quite a hard sell for how slow it is. Pick number 8. A bunch of filler. I'll just grab the dual land speculatively here. Pick number 9, probably the same. Yeah, Destined Confrontation is a little too matchup dependent for me. Can be incredible in the right game and then completely useless in others. Not the kind of card I like main decking. Pick 10. Alright, Deadly Precision and Ozai's Cruelty are still in this pack. Pick 10, meaning that the quality of the black spells that are wheeling is much higher than the quality of the other colors so far. I'm just going to take another Deadly Precision. Should be good for black-white sacrifice. Trebuchet did not come back around though, which is worth noting. And that card is by far at its best in black-white sacrifice, so could be not the greatest sign that that specific color pair is open, even if black individually is somewhat open here. Yeah, pick 12 Corrupt Court Official. Black is definitely somewhat open. So we might try to push towards blue-black if we can. Open a double mythic pack here. I think we're joining the villains. I have lost to Wan Shi Tong more than any other card in the entire set. I don't know what is going on, but I played against it twice in our last draft and twice in the draft before that. So, not having a good time against this stupid owl. But we are currently 2 cards deep into blue. Black-white as a color pair is not the most likely to be open, and we're deep into black, so I kind of like trying to push blue-black here, taking the Wan Shi Tong as our bomb rare, instead of trying to go for, like, Jund with Boomy. Boomy is another completely absurd rare, though. I would probably be just as fed up with Boomy if I'd played against Boomy as often as I'd played against Wan Shi Tong, but I have not, so... Yeah, Boomy's ridiculous. I mean, 5 mana for 5/4 and a 4/4 and extra combats. Absurd, absurd rares in this set for sure. But we'll grab Wan Shi Tong there, see if we can't go blue-black. There's the Tolls of War for black-white, but that doesn't mean the color pair's open. It means just this one player exactly might not be in the color pair, or they just opened a better card for it. I like Boomerang Basics here. Pretty efficient little bounce spell. We already have double Deadly Precision. I don't think we want to load up too high on those, especially if we don't play like black-white, where it's all about having expendable cards to sacrifice for it. Yeah, I'm feeling Boomerang Basics here. That's a very reasonable option. Pick 3. Great stuff here. I mean, technically, this pack is quite mediocre, right? Waterskin Crawler, Hunters Fisher, Kyoshi Island Plaza, Rabaru Troop, Waterbender, Turtle Duck. These are all cards I would just almost never want to put in my deck, period. And then the other 2 are just like okay filler, Metal Bending and Musicians, and like Prison. So, okay, overall this pack is not that good, but the rare is solid flood prevention for any blue deck, so we'll take that. Pick number 4, there's that Messenger Hawk. Actually, it would have worked best if we had pack 1, pick 1 to Messenger Hawk over Momo, and I did mention that as an option. Yeah, Messenger Hawk's really good. Accumulate Wisdom's very good as well if you're running enough lessons that you can occasionally get to draw 3 off of it. But currently, that's not super likely. We have 2 lessons right now, almost halfway through the draft. Yeah, I think it's better to just scoop up the Messenger Hawk here. It's also really good with the Waterbending, 2 permanents off the 1 spell. Pick 5, a little bit of ramp towards our big X mana bomb with North Pole Patrol seems okay. Wouldn't mind Callous Inspector either. Is this a noble? Nope, just a bird spirit, so no Lowenly either. Yeah, it's just Patroller Inspector. Pick 6. Just grab a filler little roadblock, the Snowballers of the Ruffians, to get some early blocks and slow our opponent down. We've got a lot of 3 mana cards already, so neither of these are exciting. I could speculate on Lowenly in case we open the Bomb Rare Zula. I think I'd rather just do that. Probably doesn't make the cut, but I'm not excited about the other cards either. Pick 7. We have Beetle-Headed Merchants, Geyser Leaper, and Cat Gator. If Cat Gator pings for 4 or more, I'm pretty happy with it. We're currently certainly deeper on blue than black, but There's nothing in this pack I'm excited to run, so I'm just going to take the Cat Gator, hope we can get a little bit deeper towards black and go for, maybe with this dual land or something, go for like a 10-7 split. 9 swamps. 9 swamps and then 5 islands. And that could get Cat Gator to decent counts. Another Messenger Hawk pick 8, pretty happy with that. Another Corrupt Court Official, sure. Our only 2 mana plays are just a bunch of Corrupt Court Officials. Waterbending Lesson does go up in value when you have specific cards to dig towards, like a Wan Shi Tong, so that's also kind of interesting. I think I still want more little 2 drops to play. Okay, well, I was wrong about the Trebuchet. Somebody's playing it in like black-red or something. That said, we didn't open any good rares, I mean, outside like Momo towards the black-white deck. And white itself didn't look that open, so doesn't look like a Tools of War strat would be super open, but I'm still going to take it over Snowballers. If we get like a bajillion pieces of fixing, could end up being an okay card with our clue tokens for messengers, with our sacks from the Deadly Precisions, and maybe some water skin to fix it in. Probably not happening. It's definitely a speculative pick, but the pack was very weak. But there you go, there's the black-white duel. So who knows? I'll put that in the white pile here at the end. Okay, pack 3, pick 1. Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. This is very good with our clues from Messenger Hawks. It's really good with the draw discard from the Agnakella. Good with Katara. Yeah, I think this is a very, very nice ability. I don't think it'll wheel, but the rare land will definitely not wheel, so there's a world where you could try to be bold and take the rare land over it. But I think it's too impressive. Pack 3, pick 2. I'm not immensely high on removal here. We just have the 2 precisions, maybe 1 Cat Gator, so I don't mind another Deadly Precision on this pick over Azula. Unfortunately, get an incredible white bond rare here, but it's a double white card. Sadness. This set is so weird. Not really the weirdness of the set, but just the counts of what's been getting opened has been very strange. That's 3 Agnakellas in this draft. I think I take that over Sold Out by a little bit. I could definitely use more removal, but it's pretty huge consistency. Getting 2 copies of that. Yeah, I'm going to take the rare land here. Get another Cat Gator. Forecasting Fortune Teller is also really nice. 2 permanents for Waterbending. It's another clue for the Swamp Spirit Keeper. This is actually a pretty hard choice. The Fortune Teller and the Cat Gator both looking awesome here. But I think I'm going to double up on the Cat Gators because that then really incentivizes me to push deeper into black. Makes the deck building a little easier. I can much more easily justify cutting some of the cheaper blue cards if we're like really focused up on that. So let's go double Cat Gator. Another Deadly Precision over Azula or Watery Grasp. Again, just sticking to black here, getting more removal. Get our 4th 2 mana little chump blocker with another Corrupt Court Official. Hama's not bad either, but Hama's quite slow, and I think we're still lacking more on 2 mana plays than like big top end. We have Wan Shi Tong and double Cat Gator and a River Spirit. We're doing really good on finishers. Ozai's Cruelty I think is probably a little better in here since we have quadruple Corrupt Court Official. We can really attack our opponent's hand. Alright, we are cutting the low and Lee at this point. I'm not going to run them just to tutor out an Ozai's Cruelty or something. And we're not really going to do the white splash when I need to play Bajillion Swamps if I can. I guess I could take more Hand Disruption, but I just really don't like Indoctrination. Battle Fan's a pretty filler 2-drop, but 2-drop nonetheless. We want to fill that curve out more. Ooh, Swamp Snare Trap's a good pickup. I don't mind that at all. And a sold out pick 11? God dang. I wouldn't mind the card draw either, but I think we're chilling on Clues, Katara, and some Agnas. I'll run an Azula. I think I just need to cut one spell, cut the Hog Monkey here. Go blue-black, emphasis on swamps. Want like 9 swamps here. Cut a Hog Monkey for sure. And then what? Maybe the Battle Fan. Or I was gonna say or a 3-drop, but I like all of our 3-mana creatures a lot better. Even if it means a worse mana curve. I mean, Azula Always Lies isn't the greatest trick here. Your creatures are all pretty dirtily early. It's probably pretty decent on most of our 3-drops, though. Yeah, all the 2/3s and 2/4s, I think, play perfectly fine with Azula Always Lies. Yeah, I'm going to cut the Battle Fan here. Alright, blue-black deck, leaning towards the swamps for the double Cat Gator. Got a good bomb with Wan Shi Tong, got plenty of interaction. Quadruple Precision, Trap, and Sold Out. A lot of hand disruption with 4 Court Officials and an Ozai's Cruelty. Decent amount of card draw and card selection. 2 clues for Messenger Hawk. We've got a Katara for a card draw mana sink, and Azula drawing a card whenever she attacks, and double Agnakella digging through the deck. Wan Shi Tong, of course, our bomber, drawing us a ton of cards when it enters. Looks like a really solid, pretty consistent strategy. We'll see how it plays out for us as we hop into the gameplay. Alright, here we are on the play for game 1. Oh, the beautiful Appa Companion. Not doing anything till turn 3 here, but plenty to do from then on. There's Merchant of Many Hats to start our opponent off. Little 2/2 that keeps coming back from the grave. Let's lead off with the North Pole Patrol because it can give us some more mana towards playing multiple spells in one turn soon. Rebellious Captives, and a Callous Inspector, and that 3 toughness also holding the stuff off. Can play Azula if I tap out here. Yeah, I don't hate it. Still holds a 3 toughness blocker up and sets up to maybe start drawing some cards. Send in the team. It's gonna be like Azula Always Lies or something like that here. Still be a trade with captives if it's not a better trick. Sold Out. Okay. So I guess they really wanted the clue token. I'm surprised they wouldn't just sell out attack all. Do it pre-combat. Swamp Spirit Keeper. I think I can wait on the Spirit Keeper till I have 5 mana so I could like crack the Messenger Hawk clue and play Spirit Keeper in the same turn. So we'll just play the Hawk and pass here. Dai Agents. Earthbend 1 twice. Drain me for life equal to the number of creatures with counters on them every time they attack. I don't have the mana to waterbend this North Pole Patrol. Okay. So I can play the Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper and crack the clue if I want. Kind of into going for a Deadly Precision here. Or a Sold Out on this Agents. I'm just going to sell out this Agents. do not want to deal with that life drain. And I'd like to hold the 3 toughness blocker up. Azula on the hunt, that'll be our deadly precision target. Hoping for land 5. To be able to blow it up without sacrificing anything or tapping the patrol. We do not hit land 5. So I either have to tap patrol or sacrifice somebody this turn. And I guess I really just get hit by the merchant if I if I tap the patrol. Because I still block the 1/1s. I get hit by inspector as well, but I don't take too much damage for this. At this point, we're going to just try to get a wide enough board that I could start getting Katara Waterbends pretty easily, because Katara Waterbends plus Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper is going to go pretty insane. They both kind of feed into each other, the Katara drawing the extra cards to make the 1/1s, and the 1/1s helping Waterbend for more cards later. There's Messenger Hawk for our opponents. Pretty good with 2 clues on their board. It's a boomerang basics for us. Just bounce the merchant. They're on 5 mana, 2 of which is on their creatures, though. I think I can hold off on the boomerang basics. Tempted to just go Spirit Keeper and crack this clue. Because I'm really still looking for more lands as draws. So dig a little farther to try to hit them. And this isn't even like 1 less permanent for Waterbending because we replaced the clue with a spirit, which can also Waterbend. Our Messenger Hawk is not going to be blocking their Messenger Hawk, but it can still help us on blocks. Have a double block for their Menace card or hold off another 1/1. It's not really a game where I'm concerned with outracing our opponent, considering we have the late game inevitability should we get enough mana through Katara's card draw engine. And now a Cat Gator as well, should we make it there. Okay. This Earthbends every time it attacks specifically, so I can boomerang that. No enter effect. Katara will have 5 permanents to Waterbend, not 6, so she's not quite there yet. Just play another Messenger Hawk. No spirits, correct? No spirits. There's a lot to keep in mind here. We also need to keep track of our North Pole Patrol's Waterbend ability. We can tap 3 of our permanents in the North Pole Patrol to tap 1 of theirs. So we could tap their Messenger Hawk. Which could have been a reason to not attack with this spirit, because then I get to hold up a Messenger Hawk and keep their menace off of us as well this turn. Kind of feels like we're both wanting to draw more mana right now. Raven Eagle, incredible card. Even if we kill it immediately, gives them great value. It's a 2-for-1. They got a clue token out of it to draw another card, and forced removal from us. Man, I am desperate for lands. I think I'm cracking the clue here, and then sacking the fresh spirit. Most likely. There we go. Play a Katara and a Deadly Precision here. But unfortunately, I am one permanent off from Waterbending Katara just yet. So I think I'll just poke for that extra damage instead. Swamp Snare Trap one of the Messenger Hawks. And a Boiling Rock Rider. That's another great card. Exiles an ally from a grave, but there are no allies in either player's grave. We're a pretty bad matchup for the Boiling Rock Rider because we don't really run many allies in this deck. Katara is an ally, though. And the Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. And the North Pole Patrol. Never mind. If they kill any of those, they could cast those out of our grave. Okay, now I think I'm just mainly holding up mana to Waterbend Katara, or holding up permanents to Waterbend Katara. I could Precision the Rock Rider. But there are no allies in anybody's grave yet. Oh. I was right. I got like 5 comments about how this can cast your opponent's allies against them. It literally can't. You may cast an ally spell from among cards you own exiled with this creature. You may cast an ally spell from among cards you own. Yeah, I don't know why I got 5,000 comments saying that could play opponent's allies. And then now I think it can do that. It can't do that. Well, take YouTube comments with a grain of salt, I guess. I'm just going to hold off here mostly. I don't think I need to blow that up because it can't, even if they blow up one of our allies, it can't replay anything. It's got to blow up one of their own. I probably will blow it up eventually, but I'm going to lock in some Katara value here. They just pass through. Get a land. And draw land for turn. Beautiful. It's another swamp for Cat Gator. Probably working our way towards Cat Gatoring the Rock Rider now. I'm going to get a Swamp Spirit Keeper trigger here. Alright, I'll drop Azula Always Lies and just place the Swamp Snare Trap. Seems fine. No Katara activate if I get some damage in here, but that's fine. We have like all the cards we need. Oh, right. I didn't read their rare land. They can just spit out their own spirit and trade. Soaks up all their mana for the turn, though, instead of cracking their clue. Gets them down to 9. Might get them low enough to try to catgate her face. Tap land. Are you going to pass through to have a spirit up again? Kind of looks like it. Indeed they are. Hello, Wan Shi Tong. That is the clearest hold all my mana up that we've had in a while. X equals 6, so we draw 3 cards. If we don't kill them real quick, that'll win them the game, but I think Wan Shi Tong should lethal them. Wan Shi Tong into Catgator does kill them quick enough. Okay. Oh, that's actually just 8 damage already. I don't even need to play a Catgator. It's exactly 8. And I could activate Katara or Agnakella to trigger Messenger Hawk on our turn. That would also be overkill. Alright. That is 1-0 heading to game 2. Game 2, we got a mono black opener. But we are a double Catgator deck, so that could be as much of an advantage as it is a potential hindrance. And there you go, if you draw into the Catgator immediately, it does make that pretty exciting. Blue-black mirror match here. They've got the Realm of Ko again. Corrupt Court Official. Got rid of a Pretending Poxbearers. Nice. Don't have to worry about trading into that twice. Take 1 from the first time flyer. They drop a Guana Parrot. Our opponent has some really good mana flood prevention. 2 mana sinks on their lands. They've got the blue and black rare land. Very cool. Let's go for mana efficiency over just running out another Corrupt Court Official here. I mean, I could poke them for 1, holding up Azula always lies, but I think we're just going to double up these 2 on turn 4. Kyoshi Battlefan, Prowess the Parrot. Equip the fan to the flyer. Sure. Indeed. We take 5 then. This is a lot of early pressure. Ooh, Ozai's Cruelty. We tapped out. But I'll deal with everything in their hand. I'm under a lot of life total pressure on the board against 4 flying power. So I actually don't love Ozai's Cruelty here. When I could still rip out half of their hand and have like a much better block set up. I guess I can take 4 for a turn. I probably should do this. Got rid of a Soul Down or Raven Eagle. Okay, yes. That was worth it. Now they're playing off the top. But we're going down to 10. Very important to keep in mind the Messenger Hawk will not be a 3-2 if I crack a clue during their turn. I would have to sack 2 clues to block with it as a 3-2. They top decked something. If they're thinking that long there. Take 4. Down to 10. Maybe they're considering using Agna Kella to draw a card, discard a card, because maybe it's like a 5 or 6 mana play. I'd be pretty happy if that's the case, because then we can get Corrupt Court Official value. But if it's like an instant, then they just respond by casting the instant when we cast our Corrupt Court Official. It is an expensive card for Agna Kella, so they're going to draw and discard it here. Hit a land there, okay. So that means we get the Court Official value. Kaboop. Get rid of an Azula Always Lies, which still buffs their first time flyer. It's not the end of the world for them. So unless they literally top decked the combat trick, we can make this block favorable. And do we want to kill first time flyer or Iguana Parrot first? Probably first time flyer first because we stop more damage this way. Go down to 8. No blue for this Swamp Seared Keeper. Let's just hold up Sold Out, block Iguana Parrot, and like if they have a combat trick, we respond with the Sold Out, but if not, then we'll just take the trade. And save the Sold Out for a potential bomb later. Because they do get to equip the Battle Fan to the Parrot, and then they're attacking with a 3-2 into our 2-3. And technically any instant works as a combat trick because of the prowess on the Iguana Parrot, so I like block and Sold Out in response if they try to buff it. If we don't have to cast Sold Out here, if they just pass through, we'll crack this clue. They do pass through. There's our blue source. I don't have Sold Out mana up if I drop this turn. I'm at 8, so I really have to just block if they send the attack in. I'm chilling for a turn again. Turn 7 I can play both of these. Or just slam down a Cat Gator. Land 5. Pass through. Not interested in running Cat Gator out into Quench mana. This is where the Realm of Ko gets really scary. They hit us for 2 a turn unblockably. But if we draw into any more clue production or we start activating our Agna Kella, that is how we're going to get the blockers for those spirits with the Swamp Spirit Keeper. I think I might go for Sold Out in their end step. Because then even if they have the Quench, then we eat the Quench to allow the Cat Gator to resolve, gain us a bunch of life, and then start attacking with our life-linking Spirit Keeper and Cat Gator. The one flaw that I see with going for the Sold Out in the end step is if they do like draw into a really good bomb like an Azula or something, then we just won't have removal for that left over anymore, which is a risk in this set. It has felt pretty bomby. Well, they're going to kill our Swamp Spirit Keeper. Dang it. Tragic. They still got exactly Quench mana here. Ooh, the Quench would be painful. But if they Quench now, then it means that the Cat Gator resolves and stabilizes us hard. Octopus form, okay. Same difference. We go to 1 and then Cat Gator puts us back up to a bajillion and kills their only flyer. Thank you, Cat Gator. Very cool. And we draw into the precision to blow up somebody else. I might want to blow up this spirit, because we no longer have a way to produce spirits of our own. They've only got one other card in their hand here. Alright, yeah. Let's do it. So their worst case scenario is they can pick up the Merchant and play it and have it as a blocker for Cat Gator. Their best case scenario is way worse for us, which is a 4 toughness blocker to really hold off the Cat Gator. Okay, not good draws. Land and land are the 2 draws for the turn. But they're on a 3-turn clock now for Messenger Hawk, because we can draw the extra card for it each turn, hit them for 4 damage each turn. Boiling Rock Rider, do they have any allies in their grave? First time flyer can be cast off of that, and Pretending Poxbearers, yeah, that is very good here. It's got multiple options. That's a good draw. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could jam in for 8. Probably should have held up double blue. Oh my god, Boomerang Basics, Corrupt Court Official. So I jam in for 8 or I make sure they can't get a flyer by killing this Rock Rider. Oh, I guess because they have the Merchant of Many Hats, the Boomerang Basics Corrupt Court Official combo doesn't really work. They're just going to pick up the Merchant and put it back in grave and keep whatever I bounce here. I kind of want to just deal with this Rock Rider. But again, it is very tempting to hit Merchants because, again, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They go to 2 life, 1 Rock Rider down. But then they can attack with the Rioter and play a blocker there. Suppose a block for turn, like 2 blockers. That would still be dead on board. Yeah, I think I hit the merchants. This has to attack to recast somebody. So they attack, recast a card from their grave, play 1 more blocker. That's dead. That's 2 blockers against 4 creatures. Beetle-headed merchants. Oh, they top decked 1 mana removal. Yep, that's go to 1. Thanks to the top deck. And that would kill 2 of our attackers. Yeah, that's super rough. To be fair, no matter how we play it there, that draw from our opponent is super bad for us. Because if I play the way where I'm trying to get more flying attacks by killing the Rock Rioter, or slowing down the Rock Rioter, they still just kill the flyer and I'm not getting more attacks. It's kind of the same either way. Katara can win a top deck war, and they cannot really attack too hard, or we're cracking back. So we drop this, pass, start spamming Katara. Could actually have tapped Katara and my 5 lands there just to get a +1/+1 counter on Katara. Might have been worth it. Get their flyer is the play. Hopefully they didn't top deck like Azula Always Lies. I don't know if we have a particularly good block against Azula Always Lies. They did not. Play a Poxbearers. Alright, Katara spam, let's go. Swamp. Deadly Precision. We blowing up the flyer, we blowing up the merchants. I think our creatures are small enough, the merchants is scarier for us. If I don't tap Katara now, I'm holding off Poxbearers with Katara's 3 toughness. Feels like, again, I'm not putting a counter on Katara here. Because blocking Poxbearers with a Court Official is not very good. Yeah, I think I have to pass through and just hold the 3 toughness up against the 2 power. They got their own miniature card dungeon going on with Agnikella discarding the merchant over and over if they want. But they're actually going to play him out here. Pass through. Find Azula on the hunt and an island. Zula gives us that additional 3 toughness blocker now. I get a counter on Katara this turn. And find the deadly precision. Opponent at 2, 4 creatures. I think they still can't really attack with first-time flyers, so I don't know if I want to play this. I mean, if they are running Corrupt Court Officials, I should absolutely play this right now. Okay, they're running at least one. I mean, I guess if I play it, though, I'm losing a Court Official anyway. Yeah, it's all about the number of creatures on each board. We need to have more than them, so if I'm sacking one to kill one of theirs, that's not helping the quantity versus quantity here. I really need to cast this for the 5. This is less a question of, like, if I need to save this for a better threat. That I don't need to do. I just need to whittle down their numbers on board. But I do have to save it until I have the 5. I can't really sack a creature to cast it here. Messenger Hawk's really nice draw in this position. I would like one of those too. Alright, that's double removal. That should be dead on board. Should be dead on board here. Kill 2 creatures, swing all, hit for 2 damage. They crack the clue a single blue mana up to try to save them. And it does not save them, because I think cracking that, holding up a single blue, would be trying to draw them to the hexproof trick. That would be the one way they could survive that turn. Yeah, they were looking for an octopus form, did not find one, and that will end that very grindy mirror match. We are 2-0 now, heading to game 3. Here we are for game 3. 2 islands, 5 black spells. I mean, one of them is a hybrid mana card at least. That's pretty sketchy. I mean, even if it had the black mana, the triple precision opener, quite a slow hand. If we're against anything aggressive, any white deck, any red deck, we're quite scared. I'm gonna mulligan this one. There's way too much that can go wrong with that. This is certainly better, but it's still very slow. 5 mana play, 7 mana play, and then ideally a very high mana X mana play. But I don't think I can mulligan down to 5 on that one. But we are stuck with 2 very risky hands as our choices. Even the best 5-card hand is very risky just by being down 2 cards from the start of the game. So we'll take this known risk versus the unknown risk. We could have a 5-card hand that's also just bad, and then we're in an incredibly bad spot. Luckily, it's a blue-black mirror match again, so they shouldn't be too aggressive here. Should give us time to try to slam down these great cards. Unfortunately, the Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper is too thick. Too thick for Swamp Snare Trap. But I can Deadly Precision it here, sacking this Court Official, which is worth it to make sure they don't get any value off of it. Card of a Daily Indoctrination. Actually very happy to get rid of that, so that they can't hit a Wan Shi Tong or a Cat Gator here. They're stuck on 4 mana. I'm not playing anything until I can get a big Wan Shi Tong. I mean, I wouldn't mind Wan Shi Tong for X equals 2 if they're tapped out, but I'm not playing that in any open mana. I mean, 3/3 Flying Vigilance, draw 1 when I'm not going to play anything else for a long time does not seem bad when they're tapped out here. Yeah, cast this and then trap the Moon Spirit hit for 3. It really doesn't seem that bad, but I'm gonna get greedy with it. I think the game's going slow enough we can get more value out of that. Waterbending lesson. Okay, if I top deck a basic, I'm just gonna slam this down main phase, I think. Get the draw 2. Yeah. While they're tapped out. They probably will get to kill it with removal immediately after untapping, but that's fine. Still a 3 for 1. Whereas if they had the counterspell up when I tried to play it, they would stop us from getting any of the value. Yeah, that is completely fine. Still get way ahead on cards off that. On our way to Cat Gator. Technically, we already have the Cat Gator mana, but when they're at 20 life, it's way better to blow up one of their creatures with it than shoot their face. So I'm just going to hold off on it. Passing through. You're always supposed to activate this if the best card in your hand is not in your hand. Or the best card in your deck is not in your hand, but I think the best cards in our deck are in our hand right now. It's just like good removal. Yeah, I don't think I'm actually activating this. Yeah, because then, like, what do I discard when I draw this? One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, we cast Katara and we don't attack this turn. So that we have 6 untapped permanents to Waterbend with. Don't have any counter spells here, so I'll draw the card. I'll keep Guitar on top. Cruelty's really nice in this spot. It honestly probably hits like Quench Quench, would be my guess. Crack the clue first to give them more options. Nope, they are not going to crack the clue. Quench Quench! There you go. Good stuff. Ty Lee, Chi Blocker. They have triple Quench here? Guess I can play around Quench by playing it like that. Yeah, I've got the Quench mana up now. But also they were probably going to crack the clue in their end step. But this way, if they wanted to hold up Quench no matter what, and wait to crack the clue till their next turn, we still play around the Quench and get rid of the Ty Lee there. Ozai's Cruelty, that's pretty rough, but Katara still can win this game. It's the card draw engine. We got the 6 mana to activate while still attacking with North Pole Patrol, so we'll do that this time. Activate pre-end step to get her to 4 toughness to get around the Swamp Snare Trap. Play the Swamp to get around Corrupt Court Official. Board White Bomb rare, not good for us. When eventually they have to draw lands. They've hit 5 lands in all spells all game, so right now we're just waiting for them to hit a land clump. We have an Agnakella to make sure that we don't hit a land clump. Okay, Ozai's Cruelty, my removal spell. 1 for 1. Court Official. They could be sandbagging a land to play around Court Officials. Still think this is better than holding it for the Agnakella. They're not. Oh my god, they legitimately have only drawn 5 lands. They're on triple Ozai's Cruelty? How cruel. Your cruelty knows no bounds. There's their card draw engine. Draw and discard a card every time they attack with a flyer. Boomerang basics to slow that down. Or I can draw a card basicing my Corrupt Court Official. We draw 1 and they discard 1. Because this doesn't permanently get rid of the Teo, I think I'm going to do that. Especially with the Agnakella on the board. Benevolent River Spirit. Okay. Man, they've had a very lucky sequence of draws. They are 23 cards deep before they've hit their 6th land. It's going to be like just on time to like, now that they can discard the lands to draw other cards, now they'll hit the land clump and just dig through it. And they could be on some like super low curve, all cruelty deck with like 14 or 15 lands in it or something. I don't know. They are still not hitting lands. It could also be really unlucky for them. Like maybe they've got a Cat Gator in hand or something. Yeah, they have a 6 mana Giant Koi. This is double blue and 5. I can play double blue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by tapping Court Official. So I can still cast this after doing Kella if I tap Court Official for it. If I just hit a land here. We hit a Swamp Spirit Keeper. Man, I died to this Koi pretty quick. The unblock ability, it's 3 swings. River Spirit doesn't even like profitably block the Teo, but it scries to removal. I think I have to River Spirit. Stops the Teo damage and digs for Giant Koi removal. Does Teo trigger just when attacking alone? Nope, just attacking, period. Dang. That is good. And puts the counters on any creature, so it can put the counter on the unblockable Koi. Koi's already a 3-shot lethal, and that doesn't change if they put an extra counter on it, so they're still going to put the counter on the Teo. They hit the removal spell to finish off the Spirit after blocking. Don't do anything here. Well, that's lethal. What can you do? We just drew way less gas than our opponent. Drew 6 lands the entire game, and we were like digging and scried 2 away, and yeah, draws just did not line up for us there. All right, here we are for game number 4. We are 2-1 now. Playing against a white deck. Drop their 2 mana 2/2 on curve. We are on the draw here, which is going to be particularly painful against an aggro deck like white. I think in the mirror matches, like blue-black versus blue-black, being on the draw can be pretty equal. I wouldn't quite call it an advantage yet, but certainly not a disadvantage, because you can get some value out of that extra draw, but it is definitely a disadvantage against aggro. Could cruelty them since they mulliganed. That'd get them down to 1 card in hand here, but no blocks for the turn. We take 3. I think it's worth it. Get rid of a creature and an airbending lesson, sure. They play a land, drop Earth Kingdom General, and that is it. That's their entire hand here. But it is quite a chunk of damage coming in here. Super wide board. They're playing off the top. They are scrying 1 every turn. But if they don't find removal for a 2/4 lifelinker, that just completely blanks their whole board. Their attacks are just really not profitable here. We eat a creature, gain back 2 of the life. Just roadblocks everything they're doing. Okay, top deck a mythic. Sure. Okay, so this is the world we live in now. We're missing lands over here, so we can just play 1 removal spell or 1 creature. Removal spell 1 of the 3/3s. I kind of want to removal spell the 3/3 that keeps scrying for them. I don't really care if they keep gaining life. Could removal spell the Haru. This is making it so any other creature they play is putting another power on their board. I don't know. I want to hit the Scryer here. Whittle down the number 3 power attackers they have as well. Yep, that seems about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Jesus. I don't think I could possibly win. That was just so fast. When I'm at 2 here. I could be at 3 instead of 2 if I let them keep all of their creatures, but that can't possibly be right. This is non-land permanent. I can't bounce my own land, just get another 1/1, and the 1/1 couldn't block anyway, even if I did. Gain 2 off of a block, so I can block there. That stops that damage and stops a 2/2 damage, so I need to be able to stop 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of their other creatures. I can let a 1/1 in. I have no way to cast enough spells to stop 4 more creatures. Okay. All right, here we are for game 5. We are 2-2 now. So this will be a deciding game between if we get a losing record or a winning or even record. They start with a great rare. Obsessive Pursuit is huge card draw. They get a clue token every single turn, and they sack a bunch of clues and put a bunch of counters on their creatures as they do, which is very, very strong. Just drop the court official here and curve out for now. We're just going to try to blow up all the creatures they place. They can't be putting counters on their stuff at least, but this Obsessive Pursuit is going to make sure they have tons of cards to play around with. Okay, no creature this turn. Just go Messenger Hawk on this turn. Probably Azula turn 4. Sure, Lightning Strike the Messenger Hawk means no Lightning Strike for Azula. Wartime Protesters, a haste attacker. Not the greatest card for Boomerang Basics. Tempted to Deadly Precision that. But I'd have to sack one of my permanents. I think Deadly Precision that, sacking my court official should be fine. But man, that Obsessive Pursuit. It's going to make all this discard kind of irrelevant in the long run. What is happening? I'm quadruple rared already. Obsessive Pursuit, Wartime Protesters, Day of Black Sun. They only cast 3 of them. They just sack 2 clues and attack with a 6/6 now. And even if I kept the bounce spell, I mean, I just bounce this here. They then recast it with haste and beat me down anyway. Okay. Five out of 7 for Cat Gator. If I can make it to 7 mana, that won't even kill Protesters. By then it's going to have multiple counters here. Azula's not even going to block Protesters. Do I genuinely just draw discard? Probably not. Because Azula draws a card off the attack still. 2. Oh, I lied. We are quadruple rared by the stuff they've played. Not discarded, because they have Realm of Ko as well. They have played 4 rares and discarded a 5th. There's the sold outs that I need desperately. I need them to not have a haster here. Deadly Precision. Okay, that lets me play around the haster with sold outs. Okay. Trebuchet if they attack with anybody else. There's the Judy to try to attack with. So we kill the Judy but not the Trebuchet, right? Because the Trebuchet can't attack by itself anyway. I guess I can kill both thanks to Cat Gator. Actually, if they don't block, I just Cat Gator face here. Finish them off. Okay, take your 5 rares and put them in the garbage bin because they're worthless against the power of Cat Gator and my 1 rare that I didn't activate. That was terrifying. Because if they got to the mana to sack the 3 clues with one of those, 3 clues attack for 7, gain 7, that just endless card draw. All right. Yeah, we got really lucky draws in the end there. We desperately needed to hit removal. we found precision and sold out to get us there. Multiple removal at the same time. Well, we made it. We are not going to have a losing run today. We are at least 3-3, at least average or better, heading into game number 6. All right. Super irritating hand disruption oriented hand here. We'll keep it, playing against another black deck. Blue-black again. Tons of mirror matches today. I think we've only played against exactly blue-black twice, but a lot of black decks. Blue, black, and white. There's the Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. Unfortunately, I can't kill that before it gets maybe one trigger. But I will sold out on turn 4. Court Official, double block, and Inspector here. Actually, I don't know if I want a double block Inspector against Spirit Keeper. It dies, they get a clue, they crack the clue, they get a spirit, so I want to wait till Spirit Keeper's dead to do that. Now with all that open mana, I can just hold Quench up for the sold out. Can at least make them quench during their turn. So that you don't get to play anything else here. As painful as it is, taking the extra damage, giving them the extra life, I probably do wait till the end step in case they want to play something main phase 2. Alright, well, it's just quench. But what can you do? I'm not going to get to 6 mana soon, unless I top deck 2 lands in a row. Okay, it is not quench. Just removal for these court officials, maybe? Yeah, we just really haven't played anything good for them to remove either. Assume Messenger Hawk will draw the removal spell out if that's what's going on. It could be like a bunch of 5 mana cards. There's gonna be something castable. Okay, Path to Redemption. Sure. I will poke with 1 court official. That way, even if they blow up Messenger Hawk, I can double block Inspector with the other 2. Sure, blow up Messenger Hawk, they're down to 2 cards in hand. Can have a clue here. I don't want to just take damage from Inspector indefinitely. Island cycle a giant koi. Play the island, crack the clue. Looks to be the play. How much waterbending do I have? Waterbend 5. Spend double blue, tap 2 court officials and a clue. I'm 1 mana from playing around Quench with this, but they didn't have a Quench earlier, so unless they top decked it in the meantime, this should resolve. Yeah, the only way to play around Quench is to just play another Messenger Hawk. I guess that plays around Quench by not playing anything quenchable and giving me multiple more permanents to Waterbend next turn. So then next turn I can also River Spirit and not worry about Quench. Geyser Leaper. Okay, now we definitely don't need to worry about Quench. Deadly Precision. Doesn't have any ward, so I don't mind that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 total. 5, 6, 7 can be the clue and 2 court officials and then sack 1 court official. Draw Swamp Snare Trap. This has really felt like the best I've ever had Corrupt Court Official be in one of my decks in this format so far. They've been really nice with Waterbending and all the deadly precisions. One, two, three, four, five, six. I don't think I need to kill Messenger Hawk. Get the counter on Katara. Could have attacked there, but it's pretty easy to trigger the Hawk and crack back for 3. I don't really want to trade 4 damage to them for 3 damage to me at the life disparity that we're at right now. Submersible the Spirit. Submersible the Katara. Submersible Katara. There goes her +1/+1 counter. Deadly Precision, the River Spirit, sure. Hold everybody up for Waterbending. I can block Submersible. Azula always lies in Waterbend here. Let's make sure Katara lives against any interaction. If they do go for the attack, then I don't get to Waterbend, but that's fine. Court Official. It's not a super good Boomerang Basics board. Like, I wouldn't mind doing the bounce your own thing kind of play, but I already have Katara drawing cards. So that feels unnecessary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll trade 4 damage to them for 1 damage to us. Another Corrupt Court Official off the top. Okay. Deadly Precision is the draw. And then the Azula draw is Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. That's a beautiful one. Here's the Chump, and here's the Keeper. Man, we are really drawing all gas here. Actually do 1 lands for Cat Gator, but we cannot really complain. Draw 5 million spells. Alright, that is 4 and 2. We have made it out of mediocrity, and we are guaranteed a positive record out of this draft, no matter where things go from here. I'm going to keep this hand because it has both of our colors. It can cast basically anything it draws, but there's risk to the hand because it is pretty slow again. Just a big, like 7 mana creature, as well as the big X mana creature. Luckily, our opponent's hand looks like it is also pretty slow. Just lead with Ozai's Cruelty. Start of a removal spell in a forest. Oh, they've got a very good flood prevention land. They can just keep turning their lands into beefier and beefier creatures. They can earthbend on the same land over and over with this. Turn it into a super, super massive threat. Drop the court official here. Get rid of another land. So they're kind of flooded over there, but again, that's kind of fine with Bussing Say. There's the Badger Mole. Okay, not fully flooded. They've kept 2 spells as their final couple cards. Washitong would be a 4/4 at instant speed. Not big enough to deal with Badger Mole anyway, so I don't mind the hard cast Deadly Precision on the Badger Mole here. Save the Wanshitong for a turn from now, because we certainly don't have to play around a counter spell from green-red. So I can get as greedy as I want with this and tap all of my mana into it later. And they could just Bossing Say the forest into a 4/4. It's already a perfectly fine play. So their worst case scenario is not bad at all. And Earthbending lessen it to be a 6/6 is a lot better than that worst case scenario. Messenger Hawks the draw. Oh man. This forest is going to be a big issue. I can Swamp Snare it, and then they can still put more counters on it. I guess I can Swamp Snare it and play Messenger Hawk, though. And then it doesn't actually get any damage in this turn if they don't put more counters on it. Now flashing in a Wanshitong triggers the Messenger Hawk to have more power on blocks as well. Alright, then make that thing thick. It'll be 7 toughness next turn, but I can kill a 7 toughness with Wanshitong plus Messenger Hawk. We get to be the Wanshitong villains today. Even if they have like a lightning strike, Wanshitong put us very far ahead there. And if they don't have a way to kill Wanshitong, it's just going to eliminate them very quickly. Yeah, they're just Earthbending lands here. Okay. Actually, should crack this after tapping it for Benevolent Spirit. Yeah, we'll do like that, so I can have Precision up if I want to do that. Another Precision is the draw. I actually think it's pretty reasonable here to just Precision away their mana, since they're pretty locked into die next turn if they don't do anything crazy, and with less mana there's less opportunity to cast spells. GG from opponent. We'll GG back, I guess. Yeah, they do their best with the menace, but that is going to be game that will be 5-2. Heading into game number 8, we are now in the money out of this draft no matter what. And if our previous record's anything to go by, we will win one more game. We'll go 6 wins, and then we'll get our final loss. We got to add another 6-3 to the collection today. Got a decent opening hand here. It doesn't have any interaction for resolved threats, but it is disrupting their hand a lot with court officials. Drawing us some cards with Messenger Hawk, decent amount of permanence around as well to waterbend out the River Spirit, so I like how all these cards play together. We just don't have any removal if they do anything scary. Blue, white from our opponent. Here's Corrupt Court Official, which is going to pull out a... pull out a Boomy from their hand, so we won't have to worry about that in the late game. So they're blue, white, and green then. There's a Katara for us. Be much sadder to see Katara get countered than Messenger Hawk, so we'll lead Messenger Hawk against the blue deck. They are not going to counter, no quench. Play another Court Official, crack a clue seems fine here. And this is where I'm worried I don't have interaction, because Sokka's a great card to throw removal at, but unless they play a haste creature next turn, we shouldn't be worried about them. They're a 4-color deck. Blue, white, red, and green. So it doesn't feel like a red haste creature is the most likely play for our opponent next turn. Play River Spirit next turn. Discard an Earth Kingdom Soldier there. Crack our clue. Find a swamp. Attack for 3. Kind of an 8 removal spell deck here. We have 6 removal spells and 2 Cat Gators. So the odds of finding a way to deal with the Sokka are pretty good, and there it is, the Deadly Precision. Play around Quench here by sacking a Court Official. Seems reasonable. Yeah, I would rather lose a Court Official to play around that. There was absolutely no stop from our opponents, so I believe we can just run out the Katara here and know that they don't have the Quench then. Some of those cheaty face things you can do on Arena that feel a little wrong as somebody who started with Paper Magic. In Paper Magic, you can never be 100% sure whether or not your opponent has the Quench there, but on Arena, you can be like, oh, no stop, all right. Run all this out into your open blue mana. With the right cards, Katara could be terrifying. Can I play this and the other thing? Blue, blue one. Yep, I have exactly enough, I believe, to then Waterbend the River Spirit afterward. Alright, their last card in hand. If it's a good ally triggered ability, we could have a problem. Maybe scared enough that I should have scried this away to get closer to one of our other 7 removals. Earth Kingdom Jailer with the double trigger? That's spicy. That is quite spicy. Well, the 2/4 holds them off if they don't top deck something else. Oh, wait a second. Did it not double trigger? I'm confused. I feel like that was supposed to double trigger. Was it not? Oh, I guess it does trigger twice, but they don't get to choose new targets for the second trigger? Is that what happened? I don't know. True Ancestry on the Boomy. That's a good draw. Boomy is a scary threat at this point. but it doesn't do anything to stop the River Spirit. That Barrels of Blasting Jelly does. So you're getting one more River Spirit attack, and then it's going to be a goner. 3, 4, 5. I don't actually have the mana to precision and crack the clue from Messenger Hawk. I would really like to crack the clue from Messenger Hawk, so I'm going to sack a Court Official to do that. Swing it. They're not a black deck that can like make me discard here. So I'm gonna hold on to the swamp in case we hit our draw and discard spell ourselves. They're not spell, but our land. So here comes... Oh, they're in a really rough spot. They can't make a bunch of blockers with Boomy and blow something up with barrels. I think they're probably just dead here, right? Because they have to barrels. And then I attack with everybody else. I mean, they're not literally dead, but they are not in a good position. If they block the Court Official, they take 2, 3, 4, which leaves them dead to a Flyer and a Spirit. They have no life gain and no way to block that. Yeah, I believe we do that. They have to block the Swamp Spirit Keeper. Okay, here's Boomy. Multi-trigger. Oh, they actually have one lesson. I was expecting the, like, 3 lessons in grave, double up that multi-trigger, and it'd be insane, but with only 1 lesson in the grave, this is actually just the equivalent to if they had 2 lessons in grave, thanks to Katara's ability. So that's not massively helpful for our opponent here. They're going to 1 life this turn. Now they're dead to removal off the top. And that works to the ping for 2. And that will be 6 and 2. Which brings us all the way to the final battle here. The last game of Magic, final game of Magic for today. Whether we win it or lose it, we have 3 6-3s in this format under our belt and 0 trophy runs. So will this be the deck that finally breaks through and gets us a full trophy? Or is this set just the one where we are cursed to perpetually 6 and 3? We'll find out soon as we head into that final game of Magic. Here we are for the final game of Magic. Multiple pieces of hand disruption and 1 removal spell. We'll keep it a little bit high on mana, but outside of that, a perfectly reasonable start. We are playing against a black deck, and we've drawn into the Agna Kella to prevent mana flood here. Use that to ditch extra lands in the late game to try to find other spells. We are on a blue-black mirror match to wrap it up. Not quite the mirror match. They do start off here with a Plains after discarding that island. I'll play to the board first here. They've still got 6 cards in hand, so we can wait a little bit to cruelty them and still rip a couple cards out of their hand. Another Messenger Hawk. I do not mind that at all. Could Messenger Hawk and Deadly Precision the Peddlers, but I'm not particularly worried about the Peddlers, so while that would be mana efficient, I think I'll just take the damage from Peddlers for now and get ready to start beaming them in the face. 6 damage a turn from the double Messenger Hawk. There's June Bounty Hunter. Attack for 2 and we take it to 18 here. Okay, let's crack a clue after Nose Eyes Cruelty to play around Quench. And we get the full value from Cruelty here. Because we are not only happy to make them discard 2, but we're also really happy with the extra damage. Oh, good lord, we got rid of one of the best rares in the whole set, the Fire Nation Drill, removal spell plus a giant vehicle. Happy to see that. They must just not have the double black for it. Now let's crack the clue. And jam 6 to the face. Boom, they're down to 10. Corrupt Court Official here. That is very sad because this Cat Gator really needs the swamp. But if I discard the Cat Gator, I don't need the swamp for anything else anyway. So I discard the Cat Gator, I discard the swamp, and either way, the other half is not happy. Right? Cat Gator's not happy to not have the swamp. The swamp is not happy to not have like a 7-drop. Crack the Court Official to buff the peddlers. They could then crack the clue to buff the peddlers again. Yeah, they're just trying their best to outrace us here. If we get to the Cat Gator, that will 100% seal the deal. But also if we just draw any clue, we actually don't even need a clue because we can just use Agnikella to finish them with the Messenger Hawks as well. I'm probably going to Deadly Precision their... Well, now that I have 2 copies, I'm definitely going to Deadly Precision their Pirate Peddlers to really make sure they can't outrace us. And just a single Messenger Hawk sticking around will lethal them, because either one is going to hit for 3 next turn off of our rare land being able to draw and discard a card. Play a tap land, play a Messenger Hawk of their own. Do they have a Hawk plus a removal? Nope, they crack the clue and that's going to be dead to the land. We have gotten our first trophy run in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and all it took was teaming up with my least favorite mythic in the set that has kept destroying my soul. I think we only won 2 games off of casting it, maybe 3 games off of casting it at least, so at least there were plenty of games where we didn't draw it or play it here, and we won without it, but while we get the trophy run, while we do win the draft, we win it at what cost? We're the villains today with Wan Shi Tong. Wan Shi Tong is probably not a villain in the show. I know nothing about the character, but good lord, is it a villain to me in this set. Definitely the rare I have played against the most and lost against the most. And it was pretty spectacular every game we drew it. We did lose 1 game that we played it in, but if I remember right, that was a game where we flooded out pretty hard, and things just lined up pretty well for our opponent, right? Like, there were positions where they had basically no creatures on board, and we were stuck with, like, a precision in hand, and it was in, like, those spots that they were drawing the Ozai's Cruelty to get rid of our removal in hand. And yeah, we just hit a lot more lands than them that game, so I think that's not Wan Shi Tong's fault that we lost that game. But every other game that we drew Wan Shi Tong, we won the games. And it was definitely in big part due to Wan Shi Tong. But yeah, this was just a nice, consistent deck. Outside of that, though, plenty of games were won without that rare. Not very many games were won without at least 1 rare played, because we did have multiple rare lands as well. And these helped quite a bit as well. They worked really well with those Messenger's Hawks, as you saw in that final game of Magic there. Pivotal in that victory. Without that, we wouldn't have had the buff to hit for exact lethal there. So those were pretty important and great cards. Very happy with those lands. Biggest underperformers and overperformers for the deck, probably Messenger Hawk is the biggest overperformer. Like, I already saw the card as pretty good. Just 3 mana 1/2 flyer, crack a clue, draw a card off of it. That's already good. Getting the extra 3 damage 1 time is solid. But when you've got enough clue token production, right, the multiple copies of Messenger Hawks play well with each other. They also worked well with Katara. They worked well with Azula. They worked well with our double Agnikella. The Serpent's Pass we even sacked at one point to trigger our draw 2 cards. There's a lot of really good ways to get the extra Messenger Hawk damage in, to where those are actually very, very threatening cards that can work as your win condition as well. Just jamming in for like 3 damage a turn in the sky. So I'd say Messenger Hawk, despite being a card I already thought was going to play pretty well, was still an overperformer because it played really, really well. And the same also goes to Corrupt Court Official to a certain extent. I'm a lot higher on Corrupt Court Official than a lot of other people, and I've ran it in a whole ton of decks so far in the set. And it has been an underperformer in some previous decks just because of how high I was on it and how excited I was about playing the card. But the way that it played today, that is what I think of when I think of Corrupt Court Official, where it's just like getting us that incremental card advantage by putting our opponent at card disadvantage. It is disrupting their hand a little bit, and then it's a good card to sack to our quadruple deadly precision. It's sitting on the board to be Waterbend fodder for our Katara, for our North Pole Patrol. It is helping us tap for River Spirit. There were a lot of good uses to the Corrupt Court Officials in this deck, and I was perfectly happy to literally just have 4 Court Officials as the 2 drops. I thought I might be a little nervous having the lack of like 2 power, 2 mana creatures to trade off with early, but it played so fine. Those Corrupt Court Officials played that role very well today. So those are also overperformers. Any massive underperformer or anything really, really learned from this game, or from these games, plural? I don't think any of these were a massive underperformer. I mean, getting the trophy run, it's hard to say that anything in the deck played super, super poorly. But I don't remember anything being like something I was really excited to play and then not panning out. Cat Gator won a game or 2. There were games where it was stuck in our hand, but that's to be expected at times. Same with like River Spirits. Yeah, I don't think anything underperformed. I think pretty much everything, the whole deck overperformed, even Katara as well. I think this is the best we've ever had Katara play for us. So just really happy with the run. The losses, for the most part, I don't think were attributed to any of the cards in the deck or the way the deck was built. We just kind of got outclassed in terms of card quality or draw quality, just general variant stuff that can happen. The green-white player just went hyper aggro with it. Every land on their entire board was a creature, and they put an extra counter on their whole board. That was going to be incredibly hard to stabilize against for any deck. And then the very long, drawn-out top deck war, where we just drew a bit worse in the grand scheme of things. So I think those are fair enough. Yeah, great run, but at what cost? I'll wrap up the video here, grab our final prize out. That is 2,200 gems and 6 packs of Avatar: The Last Airbender today. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send us more in a recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.